Whoa! Yeah, that's it. I better start carrying all these things over the shoulder and stuff because I don't know if you've heard yet, but yeah, I got to get myself ready. But I'm actually looking forward to it. And what am I talking about? Some of you may know, some of you don't know. But if you don't know, get the full-on exclusive on Robert Van Lanningham or JBI's webcam or podcast where he talks about what actually we're gonna be doing next week, which is a pretty great thing. I'm trying to get a better view also right here. Yeah, that works. So, thanks for coming on. Yesterday, if you can see my stream, I was out listening to Santa Cruda, so wasn't quite out there able to do my podcast. But it's actually been kind of nice because continuing to do what I do, I prepare to give you Chihuahua something good to like a good product, something to actually really keep you attentive and etc. So sometimes taking a day off on a Friday to not do it is actually, it relieves a little bit of anxiety because like I said, I try to do a good job for you all. And that's apparent because I do proud myself. Whoa, Matt McGee is getting it live right now. So if you haven't heard, next Friday morning, I'm going to be starting my spring break from my job. And the CBC guys, we're going to be heading out to North Carolina where we're going to be hitting in a baseball stadium with myself, JBI, Joe Prock, Jeff Hall, Johnny Dykes, I believe it was Mark Thomas, and I think some other senior big well-known players are going to be out there. We have, I think we'll have a couple DeMarini guys. You're obviously going to have myself and Shrum out there hitting them. We're going to have the Wig Popper guys with Johnny Dykes' crew out there and Jeff Hall just swinging everything, etc. And I think it's going to be fun. And who knows, being as crazy as we are, maybe we'll bring the saw out. What do you mean? If you haven't seen it on YouTube, my Facebook, this bat right here, I was swinging it last weekend. And this is something I shared about in the past, just to show you what I'm swinging and show you how good and how much we stand behind our product. So I was out there hitting the ball about 350 feet with this bat. Pretty much broke it in. We even put a compressor on it. And the compression tested at about 175, 180. And I don't know what it was like after taking a series of swings, but we didn't care. And we cut it. And the purpose, like I said, we cut it. I want you to know what you're getting. You're looking inside my bat. So you know my bat is not altered at all. You can't really get a good look at it. And I've done this in other areas. But and you could tell also the inner barrels are not cracked. So you know this is bad. It's straight what it is. What's up, Dennis? But we're going to be out there. Another thing I'm very happy to announce that Dennis Shrum, if you don't know who he is, this is who it is, the enforcer, Dennis Shrum. One of the, in my feelings, one of the biggest, he's like one of the biggest names in softball. That isn't a big name, if that makes sense. Guy's done some great things. He's played on some of the high-profile teams. He's done it all. You know, he's actually a California guy, born in, oh my God, I always mess up. I want to, not Madera. The Madera Masher, yeah, I used to call him. But I'm going to be having Dennis coming on and asking him a couple questions and stuff and kind of talking about his bat and how excited we are to be hitting. And, you know, Dennis Shrum used to play with all these guys here that are out there. So, you know, he's no stranger to playing big-time softball. You know, I'm going to let him let you know some of the teams he's been on. But if you haven't got this yet, I'm telling you right now, this is another sleeper bat from California Bats. Unfortunately, we're hoping California, we could take them by storm, but we sell more bats outside of California. We sell a handful in California, and I think you're all joining the movement out there, but we sell more outside of California. So we're hoping that more you know, when you're seeing us take bats out of the wrapper, as well as the other guys we're going to be hitting at, you're going to see what it's about. You know, me, I'm looking forward to it because the little Mexican's 5'8.5" with my cleats, 5'9", and I'm tilting at about 190 pounds. So, to hit with some of these great well-known players, senior players, you know, who also have a lineage like Jeff Hall, it's going to be a great thing because, you know, I played against Jeff and stuff when I was younger, but it was, you know, I was more the guy playing on B teams, playing with them at the Concord Major, the Smoky, as well as, I don't think they were there at the Cajun. But besides that, it's going to be a great thing. But something like I said, while I'm here right now, I'm going to be bringing on Dennis Shrum. So Dennis, once you're on this screen, you're going to look down below. If you see that little dude I told you about, and there's a little smaller square, that's where you're going to see it, okay? And Dennis is like me. We're not the most computer savvy bodies. especially when it comes to the phone. See, I put the tag. There it is. I don't know. Well, Dennis, it says that maybe you have technical issues because it says I cannot add you because of technical issues. God, let me try one more time. But Dennis, if you can, maybe you. This is add. This is because ask Dennis Shrum. Okay, add. Okay, I'm gonna walk around because I really would like to get Dennis on there. As I said, Dennis Shrum, good buddy of mine. You know, he's his own guy. He does his own thing. But like I said, he's like the most well-known guy that people are not aware of him. Maybe I'll get him on. It's not working right now. But if you haven't heard, if you haven't seen, watch last night's JBI's podcast, which he has Johnny Dykes and Jeff Hall, and they actually talk about what we're doing next week. I'm getting on a flight. We're leaving Friday morning at 5 a.m. from Oakland. We'll be landing out there in North Carolina about 7. I want to be doing something special. And this is something I've always wanted to do. And I'm going to film for my YouTube channel an actual, like a reality show, kind of like showing the preparation, then also showing the drive, getting to the airport, just the things. A lot of guys, you know, I haven't, you know, there was a time for about a 6-year span, I flew to about 47 tournaments. You know, I was fortunate to play on teams that did a lot of traveling. And man, the long haul and getting in late Sunday night or getting myself to the airport, parking your car, jumping around, the rush, the run. I'm sure some of you know that. But a lot of people don't really aware that, like how tough and how hard it is to play on these high profile teams, as well as being sponsored where you're traveling throughout the U.S. I mean, especially to today's game. You know, when I was playing the game, you were able to kind of travel on the West Coast, stay on the West Coast, but we'd always make it a point to go out to the Smoky or something, you know, on the other side of the U.S. But, you know, our traveling is primarily going to Washington, Oregon, Arizona, Vegas, you know, maybe a Texas, primarily hitting those NITs and stuff like we did in the day. But that's what I'm going to do with the reality thing, okay? Another thing, you know, the little Mexican, I have tomorrow at Manteca. We'll be in Manteca. I'm going to be showing you, we'll have the Chronic. And if you're interested in the Chronic, come see us for the Chronic. Because we're pre-selling it. If you want to pre-sell the Chronic, jump on it now. Because when we have them, they're going to be limited sales. Very similar technology as the white balance. If you like those white bats, it's going to be right up your alley. We're going to make a limited amount of these bats. It's kind of there's a fun history behind it. But that's what we're going to be doing. So I highly recommend, if you're interested in that bat, you can, I just sold 2. You can pre-sale, so you'll be the first one. They're going to be limited. So once they're gone, they're gone. And you put them up and maybe you sell them on eBay for $500 in about a year. Who knows? But, you know, message me. I'll get you the information where you can just send it away and get it paid, which I just sold them this morning. And like I said, jump on that bat. But another thing, I enjoy the name called the Little Mexican is I joked around, it's been a while, but when we have the softball tournaments, I think something that'll be just awesome to have is like when you walk into a tournament and you just say, hey, man, there's a bunch of little Mexicans out here. And that's kind of the humorous thing that I have going. You know, if you're familiar with us and California Bats, we're more a bunch of characters that love the game, passionate about the game, than actually taking it as a profession. Because, you know, obviously, you know, the CEO Proc, he's got a job and you know, just so you know, he's not a plumber. He's actually a highly educated guy. Obviously, I have another bill. I mean, you know what I do for a living, so it's not like I rely on all this stuff to make a living. We do it because it's passionate for the game, being around the game and growing with the game. But most importantly, in regards to that, is also, you know, if we could sell enough bats so we can do things like we're doing out to South Carolina this next coming weekend. That's why we do it, man, just to enjoy it, like being able to enjoy our hobby, but being able to do some work so we can enjoy our hobby that's not taken out of our pocket. That's kind of the goal of what we're doing. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Tom. I mean, you remember we went out to the Senior Smoky. That's a long haul, you know, where we had to land and drive 2 hours. I mean, you know, for us going, you know, for a lot of players on the West Coast to travel back east, I mean, it's more planning than just jumping on a plane. It's getting a ride, getting dropped off, or you're going to leave your car if you're going to do that. And then sometimes your flights, you're coming in at weird times. Like me going to Oakland. Do you think I could pawn someone right now to leave at 3:30 in the morning to take me to the airport? Probably not. So I'm still trying to figure that out. I might just drive to the Proctors Thursday night and go from there. Who knows? We're gonna have to check that out. But yeah, we want to say there's a bunch of little Mexicans out there. I'm gonna see if I can add Dennis again. I've been wanting to get Dennis on, but where he lives out there, and yep, just couldn't add guests. This person wasn't able to join because of technical issues. With me, those are probably those technical issues. But once again, I do want to talk about Dennis Shrum. Dennis Shrum, he played second base. He played second base when we're playing with front row. Consistently one of the top hitters, hitting anywhere from, he was allowed a green light hit it, and he was hitting 15 to 18 home runs. I mean, some of the home runs this guy would hit. Who do I compare? I mean, Dennis Shrum hits the ball on occasion just as far as Kyle Pearson, a Greg Canal, Andrew Collins, a Ryan Harvey. I mean, I've seen Shrum hit 450-foot shots, like monsters. And, part of the reason we brought him on to California Bat Company, first off, he is a West Coast legend. And coming from Madera, the Madera Master, that's kind of what we wanted to highlight in the beginning of this company. That's why you have California Bats. West Coast Legends is just trying to, notice and acknowledge people who've been part of the game on the West Coast, but also, a lot of people aren't familiar who they are and who they bring. I mean, Sammy B, having Sammy B on the team, that was another guy I brought on that, talking to Joe, is because, Sammy, he's just that big smile running around, huh now. And, that energy brings that total Rasta feel, happiness. What, another great guy to have, as well as people. So now, when we're playing on the Fat Boys and stuff, myself, Dennis Shrum, and Sammy being known to these guys, they bring people to watch. Sammy B is the kind of guy, as I feel watching Dennis Shrum hit bombs or whatever, or even a JBI. These are kind of guys when you go to the ballpark, you want to watch them play. You know what I mean? Watch them play. Watch what they can do on the field, the difference they bring. Because I always feel a great team, you have those, the guys that fit the puzzle. But there's always, I think, those key players. And those key guys aren't necessarily like guys with chips or shoulders, but there's those passionate guys that they bring in anything. What I always liked about Dennis, especially when I got him on our Fat Boys team, he was an enforcer. He was just a big guy that just kind of completed our team, where it's not necessarily like a gang, but it's just like one of those things where you really feel confident having a guy like Dennis. Like I said, Dennis hitting the ball 450 feet, as big as he is, being as mobile as he is, great arm, playing third base on our world championship Fat Boys team, where he led our team with hitting. I believe he hit like an 840 something, Dennis, that weekend out of 8 games. And then yours truly was second place. 796. I had to share that. So Tom, then getting up at 8 a.m. Game walking. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I totally agree, man. The time changes and the loss of sleep. I mean, we gain time coming back, but you're right. But Dennis, like I said, he look him up. He was a shortstop for Resmondo. I believe he played on US Vinyl. He played with towards the latter part of his career, he played with the Vivid Killer Bombers team. And just last year, I think he played 1 or 2 conference events at 51 years old. So that's pretty remarkable. Guy's still great. He's still great shape. And, he's, like I said, he's a guy you're going to want to watch. I think it's going to be very nice, very interesting, because I think a lot of you, especially on California side or the West Coast, don't really know who Dennis Shrum is. And being as modest because he's his guy, he told me, Leroy, I don't care if people know me or not. You know who I am. I go, I know, but I think it's to promote that bat, and that bat is great because Dennis swing a lot of times. He swing the red Adidas barrel bat, so kind of tailored it in sense. It's a 2-piece, We still have a good handful of these, and right now at the price, message me, and I just sold another one of these. You're going to love this bat. It's a great bat. Last weekend playing with a good buddy of mine's team, Vince out there. He just started playing senior ball, and he goes, what do I swing? I go, here, try this one. I had a 27-ounce Dennis Shrum. I think he made 2 outs on the weekend, had a great thing. He was just hitting line drive after line drive, not even trying to muscle up, and the fields we played on were 320, and there was a couple balls he hit on the line right to the fence, and he fell in love with the bat. And I said, it's a sleeper bat. Jump on it at the price that I can give it to you for. To me, jump on it right now. Buy 2. I think honestly, if you're playing senior softball and you're looking for a bat, I think you could I would buy 2 of these bats, and you'd probably be good for the whole season. Yeah, that's right. Dennis is a beast. Dennis, very good shape. And the interesting thing about Dennis, people don't know, Shrum, is that he was drafted by the Houston Astros. So you can actually type his name in and see his baseball cards, Dennis Shrum. But when he got drafted as a pitcher. And this is the remarkable thing. Having a guy, and this just shows you what kind of hitter he is and how strong of a hitter he is. He got drafted as a pitcher. And then, I guess pitching so long, having arm troubles, whatever, then he transitioned into a shortstop. And most of the time you hear like Tim Wakefield. Tim Wakefield was an outfielder who threw nasty knuckles. And then they made him a pitcher or a catcher or center fielder, with these strong arms. Usually go from a position player, then turn into a pitcher. But to have a guy to go from a pitcher and then go into a shortstop role, you don't see that. But that just shows the kind of athlete he is and the special talent that Dennis Shrum is, okay? Another thing, I do want to give a shout out to my homeboy Stacy Darden and Homeworks. I need some new swag. So much going on and stuff. We used to talk a lot, do a lot of things, but we still talk here and there. And great guy. Go support his page. He does a lot of great things for softball with his raffles, and very, not one guy who's trying to make a gazillion, right? Oh, I've been trying to. Oh, all right, Dennis. All right, I it's working. You figured it out, Dennis? Did JBI call you? Or is this? Oh, this is JBI, I think. So it's just waiting to add. I don't know if it's my. It's holding off. I don't know if it's I should have put it on my own, which it probably isn't. Which I might do. So go ahead and give me. Yeah. Hold on a second, everyone. Give me a minute or two. I'm gonna just wait for me. I'm gonna change my thing to hopefully have it as a what's it called? I'm gonna take the Wi-Fi out. I usually get a better connection when I use Verizon, especially when it comes to adding. But it says adding right now. Oh, you gotta stick around and watch that. You guys gotta know who the Strummer is. Another thing. Well, yeah, just give me a minute. I'm gonna change the feeds here. All right. Oh boy, that was it. That had to be it. I was running it through there, so I think we'll be able to get Dennis right now on. So Dennis, try to how you did it right now, Dennis, send it to me again and see if we can get you on again. But talking about Stacy Darting and Homeworks, that's the guy you want to support. Next thing, so like I said, Dennis, well, let me see if we could try it my way. Boom. Boom. All right, Dennis, it's shooting you one. So actually, that was the issue. I forgot. I got to go off my Verizon and not my Wi-Fi. So Dennis, you're probably seeing it, or we're just bouncing around because it says adding you. Not sure if you got the. All right, we're gonna try this. So hold on. You don't know the Madeira Masher? Here he comes. All right. So, Dennis, I'm thinking right now, if you're on watching, down the bottom, it'll say come to the screen, add to the screen, or something will pop up. Ideally, I don't know if you're using the Wi-Fi, but to me, I get better connections when I bring people on when I don't use the Wi-Fi, that I actually use the internet connection that I get through my phone. And right now, it's actually allowing me to add you because it's saying adding. If you can, Dennis, down below, if you're there, let me know what it's saying for you and just add it in the comments. So while we're waiting to try to get this addition on and stuff, something I imposed a couple weeks ago, and I'm not sure how many you're doing it, but on a rainy day, what better thing to do? But the California Bad Challenge, the Little Mexican Chihuahua Challenge is taking 150 swings a week to better your health, to keep the heart pumping, the blood flow going, which fills your body with nutrients and stuff, and as well as going to make your heart stronger. So that's the 150 swing bat. There's been so many different challenges and stuff. So to me, we want to make it a challenge that's something we hope your passionate to do, but something that gets you off the couch or do whatever and get your exercise in and get your health in. Because if you're playing senior softball and stuff, we're getting to that point. You got to be more health conscious and stuff. So Dennis, I'm gonna try it again. Boom. And this will be exclusive because I don't think Dennis has ever been on a. Oh, there it is. Hey,
Leroy, what's up, buddy?
Nothing. How you doing, Dennis? Love the hat, big guy.
Just on my lunch break.
Oh, whoa. So what did a big guy like Dennis? I'll tell you, Dennis.
Probably 6'2".
6'2". So what does a 6'2" Madeira master like yourself eat for lunch, man? Tell the people.
Chicken and rice.
Chicken and
A lot of
right.
chicken and rice.
So maybe we can call you the big Mexican now, right? You the inner Mexican guy?
Soprano power. Yep.
That's right. So well, like I said, Dennis, you've been playing this game for years. But first off, you were drafted by the Houston Astros?
I got drafted by Seattle out of high school.
Uh-huh.
Then played junior college at Fresno City in '92. Got drafted again as a shortstop. Played 2 years with them. Didn't hit as well as I would like to, Then I signed with Houston as a free agent, as a pitcher. So I did a little bit of both in the minor leagues.
Well, that's something very impressive because most of the people I've ever known, not that I know a lot, but guys that I've known that transition to pitchers was usually they were a position player to become a pitcher. But you were drafted as a pitcher. No, you were drafted. Wait, you started out as a pitcher, then you went to shortstop, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of backwards for the most part. I mean, was that a hard thing to do? I mean, I'm sure you got your
not really, because I pitched my whole life, never threw hard. Threw like 82, 83 in high school. Went to junior college, and somehow in hell, I just got an arm. And when I was 18, throwing 82, 83. When I was 20, I was throwing 94, 95.
Oh.
So I always knew how to pitch. I just never threw hard. And now it came all together. But it was a fun road. I loved it. Just like most of the softball players out there, they start off playing baseball. Started my career when I was 16 years old playing softball in Madeira, California with a buddy of mine, Bill Coddington. Big Bill.
Yeah, Big Bill. Yeah. Shout out.
My buddy JJ Amaro and Bo Bernsini. I was always getting threatened by my high school coach. If he catches me play softball, he's gonna kick me off the baseball team. But he never did. So I kind of got lucky out on that one.
Right on. So Dennis, so a little bit of softball when you're playing, and if you didn't see it, I told a lot of people. I think Dennis Shrum is a name that people I feel should know, but they don't know. And I know you're modest and stuff, buddy, but tell me about some of the softball teams you played with.
Well, I'm just a tough player to play with. I mean, I give 100%. I give 100%, and I hate to lose. And some guys love to play with me, some guys don't. And I don't mean to rub anything wrong. Early in my career, I moved to Texas in 2000. Hooked up with a buddy of mine, RJ Howerton and Kelly Hartman. Got me on a double A team in 2002. 2003 is one of my better softball careers. I was with US Vinyl, and I got voted the player of the year that year. And my career started taking off. I played with Jeff Hall, Rusty Baumgartner, Jeff Wallace, Helmer. Played against those guys for years. Those guys are ambassador of the sport. Those guys, it's an honor to go hit with Jeff next week. And I played with Johnny in 2008 with Suncoast. So 2003, I was with Vinyl. 2004, 5, Rosmondo, 6, 7, I think. Shit, it's been so long ago. With Combat. Then I started playing. 2008, I played with Suncoast with Johnny Dykes and Lee Trotter and all of them guys. We had a good A team, double A team. 2009, it was Woodlaw. 2010, Woodlaw, Famous. I've been playing conference. I played all the way till I was 48 years old. My last conference run was 2019. I played with Woodlaw and Amino Heat. We were double A. Not double A, but we were a B team, and we took second. So, I love this game sometimes, and I hate it sometimes. You know how it goes.
Humbling game.
It's going to be an honor to go hit next week with those guys. And I don't know if I can hit them up there with Jeff, but I'll do my best,
I think you'll be fine, man. I've seen you hit where the term UFOs come, but no, I think that's going to be a great thing. I think it's great for the California Bat Company, as well as kind of going over there and hitting with Jeff Hall, Johnny Dykes. I think it was Mark Thomas. I kind of heard Greg Cannell, but I don't know if Greg Cannell is going to be there or not. Who was the DeMarini guy you also shared that was going to be there with us?
I don't know. Mike Cornell is the head DeMarini guy. He might be bringing some guys out.
Cornell.
I'm not quite sure.
Mike Cornell.
Yeah.
Mike Cornell. Yeah, that's right.
He's a good buddy of mine. Him and Jeff been friends for a long time too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be pretty interesting. That they hit on a big field like that and hit with,
Magnum.
with my bat. What's that?
No, I said Magnum's going to come out there too. Jason Magnum.
Oh, Jason? Yeah, that dude can flat out hit. I mean, that dude hits him. He hits him up there with Jeff, and I'm not up there with those guys, but I just love to go up there and have the chemistry and just hang out with those guys and bullshit with them, because I've known Jeff for 23, 24 years. Johnny about 20 years. I think they might be bringing Brandon Murray. I'm not quite sure who all they're bringing, but it seems like a pretty fun time. Just to, I can't thank you enough and Joseph Prock enough for, putting me on my own bat, taking a chance with me. So hopefully that works out pretty well for them.
Well, Dennis, knowing about you, and I do now that I think about when you got Player of the Year, I think that's when I kind of first got the name and stuff of you, and then meeting you. I remember when I went out to Texas, you came, hey, I'm Dennis Shrum, we just got to talk, and you may say you're a hard guy to play, but to me, you come to play, you play hard, and I don't mind playing with guys that do that between the sheets, and sometimes guys aren't accustomed to that, but you're a winner, the pedigree, like I tell people, even people when we're playing with Fat Boys, I go, some of you guys don't know the things that you've accomplished in softball, the things you've seen, but most importantly, you've played against all these phenomenal, great players throughout your years, and as well as me, you get used to playing with certain people, so it's elevating a level, and sometimes people can kind of get a little intimidated. You don't play quite your game, but like I said, man, you've given me softball memories, seeing how far those balls you've hit, the intensity you bring, and I've always enjoyed playing with you, man. So don't cut yourself short. Don't cut yourself short. Like I tell people, you can't always judge a guy how we are between the lines, because some people don't want to play with me either. But outside the line, great people. We're passionate and love the game. I mean, I love just seeing you talk to Celo's little guy about baseball, and I always see at the ballpark, if there's kids with gloves or kids playing the game of baseball, you show the passion and love you have and giving back as a professional in baseball to these little guys that look up to you, man. That's awesome, bro. People don't know that.
Yeah, I admire some guys that, like Celo, used to play third base with me on front row. And, I used to think I was pretty damn good, but that dude catches the ball pretty well at third. He don't play as much because he has a son. Now I'm playing 40s with Hard Knocks. We got a guy named Fish over there and I watched him play. I played against him, and the dude don't miss nothing. And I'm on a 40 major plus team. We're pretty solid. I think we're going to get better. I was supposed to play this weekend, but my damn boss threw it on me real quick that I had to go into work. So it kind of sucks. But, I just, like I said, I love to play the game, and I love to win. I want to win and do the best I can. And sometimes it comes out different. People really don't know me off the field. They know what Dennis Shrum's on the field. For years, I used to be a drunk. Now I'm a recovering alcoholic. So this December will be 12 years since I had a drink. And I wish I would have done that years ago, because I could have been a better person and a better player. But, you got to learn from your mistakes and learn from your past, But I played with some of the, I played with Johnny McGraw, R.J. Howerton. I played with Brandon Murray on U.S. Vinyl. Some of the best guys. J.D. Jenner played third, and I played short. Bob Wadike. I played with Jamal Herring. I played with some of those. Rosmondo. I played with Andy Bryson. Some of those dudes are you know, that's what made softball the last 20 years. Because those dudes were so damn good and they put the work in. You know, I just try to keep up with those guys, you know. But it's still, you know, that's still at my age. I didn't think 15 years ago I'd still be doing this. And I'm still doing it, you know.
Well, I mean, it's a test, and that's how we kind of like connect people, because it's a passion and love of the game. It keeps us youthful. It gives, I mean, to me, I get jazzed just to get up and, I mean, to go to the ballpark, to go play some ball. Even if I can get some guys to take some BP, I get all pumped up. I mean, I'm fired up for next weekend to go hit some BP. We're going across the U.S. to go hit freaking BP. You know what I mean? That's a good thing in Marco's opinion. That's a great thing.
You got to think what's going on in this world now. And no matter how bad you have it over here, we got it easy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we get to go play ball. We get to, you know, yeah, some of us got to work harder than others. You know, I got 2 jobs now. I live, you know, West Texas out in Odessa, but, you know, I'm probably happier than I've ever been, you know.
Good.
It's just, you can't take life for granted. You got to live. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow, you know.
But Dennis, you didn't know. You didn't say you played with Rocket also. I don't know if you could see the comments.
Oh, yeah.
But Rocket,
Rocket. I played with Rocket. That's Mr. Yankee right there. That dude made some great plays when I played with him. You know, that dude could ball.
Another member of the under 6 foot club. That's what we used to call them, the little people. When I was down playing b-ball and hitting our share of home runs, me or Sammy B, we say we did that for the little people, man. Under 6 foot club, under 200-pound club. You know.
Sammy's a great hitter. Sammy's a good player. I mean, I'm surprised when I started playing with some of the guys, you know, just like Rocket, I'm like, damn, Sammy's pretty damn good. You know, you know, before we picked him up on Fat Boys, I played a couple of tournaments at second, and you know, I could catch it. I could catch it to me. I just can't move, and I'm like, you know, I don't mind moving the third when Sammy came over there. You know, because the dude can flat out play.
Yeah, you know? He's another one of guys.
I don't like him hitting.
What?
I don't like him hitting in front of me though, but he can hit it though.
Yeah. Well, you know, he's got the bat speed and he swings it through the zone very well. And yeah, sometimes those line drives like you hit, they go 300 plus. You know.
Oh yeah. Especially with these bats. I mean, the senior bat is I mean, it's so good nowadays. There's really not too many bad senior bats out there. You know, like my bat. The reason I like my bat so much, you know, I like you know, I swung the Suncoast, and I told Joseph, you can make it like the Suncoast, and that bat was really good for me. It just, you know, you can't put more than 300 swings, 200 swings on them, and they break.
Right.
You know, I got some of my bats. I think my bat's been out almost over a year now. I think I've only broke 2. I only broke 2 bats. And I got some of my bats that, you know, it takes 150 swings to break in. But I got some of my bats that, Leroy, and that's no joke, it's probably 1,500 swings. You know, bats are not made like that no more.
No. You know? I don't think people really, I mean, that's why we say with our bats, you know, they're bats made by players, for players, by the player, you know, and like I said, I think, you know, last year was such a weird year that unfortunately we weren't able to play as much together. We're actually seeing you swing this bat. That's why I think it'll be good next weekend. But, you know, what are some things I mean, tell some people about the bat, like what you made it. You made it you wanted a quarter ounce load.
It's a quarter ounce in load. And because my whole life I've swung. I'm not like most softball players. A lot of guys like to end load. I really don't. I like a little bit, but for most of my career, I swung just a balance bat, you know, and when I transferred, and more of a one piece, and, you know, I transferred over to the senior league, you know, I like the red melee, and it was just a quarter ounce in load. So I told Joseph, hey, make that bat like that. And we kind of made it like that. We designed it. You guys, we all came up with the design. I think the logo's perfect. Yeah. But I can't break that bat over my leg. I've tried. So
Yeah, and if you don't know that was a signature time Dennis Shrum thing at the tournament. That's the logo. If you watch it close, there's actually a big guy breaking the bat over the knee.
Yeah.
Love that
I don't
logo.
know why. I don't know. I think I broke 12 in my life. I don't know why I have stupid things like that when I get frustrated. I wish I could just walk away. And nobody ever taught me when I was younger not to get mad and not get frustrated. But I hold myself to a higher standard. You know, I wish I didn't do that stuff, but that's just who I am. You love me or you hate me, you know. And I don't mean nothing bad to anybody else how I play. And you know, if I rip batting gloves up, that's to nobody else. You know, nobody else pays them but myself or my sponsor. You know, so I just want to win. And
yeah,
go ahead.
I get you, man. I've done some goofy stuff. You know, I've tossed a bat or two in a game as tense I am. But maybe the new logo for the 2024 Shrum bat will have you ripping batting gloves instead of breaking it over the knee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Imagine me and Andy on the same. Hey, imagine me and Andy were on the same team before. And the two hottest heads in the game of softball. You know.
I must have been a sight.
Yeah.
But hey, Dennis.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you enjoy your Saturday. I'd love to maybe bring you on later this week and get more people know exactly who is Dennis Shrum, because as I said, the person I'm talking right now is basically the person I've had as a teammate off the field, and I've always enjoyed your company, man. We've had some funny talks and everything else, so I've always enjoyed that, and letting people see this side of you, Dennis, is a great thing.
I'm nobody special, Leroy. I just want to play ball, and you know, I just had LASIK surgery about a month and a half ago. So hopefully that helps me out a little bit. If not, I guess it's time for me to hang them up, you know. But it's just I'm just like anybody else that just wants to play, have fun. It doesn't seem like it sometimes, but I do. I appreciate you having me on, and looking forward to next week. And thank you and Joseph, and hopefully JBI can tell me some biscuits next week.
Like you did in Texas, right?
Yep.
All right, brother. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of the day. Look forward to seeing you soon, man.
All right. We'll see you, Leroy.
Yes, sir. Ooh. Yeah, you just hit down below. Oh, there you go. So that's Dennis Shrum. What a heartfelt conversation with the guy. Get a chance to talk to the guy, talk about his bat and stuff. Dennis Shrum's a great face out there in softball. He does great things on the field, and he hits the ball as far as anybody out there. He's a very modest guy, as you can tell. Very intense between the lines, but I've always shared with people. I like the guy. He's a gentle giant, but he's that kind of enforcer that I've always liked. So thank you for coming on. Looking forward to this coming week. I'm hoping to do a live show prior to going to North Carolina and update you some more. But if you want more info, go to Robert JBI page from last night where we had Jeff Hall, Johnny Dykes, and they kind of talk about it a little bit more, all right? So enjoy yourself, stay dry, and do the 150 swings a week bat challenge.